There are basically two approaches to learning: informational learning and transformative learning. Which approach to learning we focus on depends on what kinds of competencies we are choosing to emphasize. If the competencies we're emphasizing have to do with facts and concepts and principles and technical skills, these kinds of competencies need the approach of informational learning. On the other hand, if the kinds of competencies we're interested in are leadership capacities, habits of functioning, shifts in values, shifts in mindsets, competencies that have to do with this other list requires transformative learning.
Transformative learning refers to deep bone learning. It refers to learning from the inside out. It refers to a kind of learning that is not that common in graduate school.
The traditional was, read the book, write the paper, test the book, forget the book. But at Meridian, you're allowed to sort of access that information, encouraged to access that information in your own way and in your own time and in what is true to your own self. That changes you because you bring more of yourself and more of the way you work personally to the material. And so it tends to just bring more and more and more of yourself to the surface.
For me, transformative learning is learning that basically involves you as a whole person.
A kind of learning that allows one's internal experience to help them shift from one state to another in terms of not only didactic information but also personal experience.
Transformative learning transforms how the learner perceives the world, how the learner inhabits and functions in the world, and how the learner acts upon the world to transform it.
Transformative learning is like the plow that turns the soil, or the glass blower that creates the glass. It creates a container for insight and understanding and experience.
It's a way of learning that encourages receptivity and encourages self-awareness.
The learner in informational learning has acquired facts, concepts, principles, technical skills, but they are the same person. In transformative learning, the learner has changed. You have a different person capable of more complex challenges, capable of more complex collaboration, capable of more accelerated informational learning. This is one of the great benefits of transformative learning, that we get better with informational learning as well.
Whatever we're talking about, people can explore the ideas experientially. It's not just, again, listening to lectures or reading, but where they can actively work with the material to find out how personally meaningful it is to them, and they can make personal discoveries about themselves through working with the material.
I love putting together curriculum because I know that I'm going to get my students to move deeper into who they really are.
I chose Meridian University specifically because I knew that I could bring my experience to the learning process and that I would learn through my experience.
The great task of curriculum now, generally in education, in the workplace, and particularly in higher education, is to weave together informational learning and transformative learning.
Meridian is constantly providing and encouraging and inviting you to be aware and be present with not who you think you should be or who you think you are, maybe on an identity level, but who you really are on a deep soul level.
The use of information, as you would find in mainstream education, but also experiential learning, which leads to whole person learning and an integrated sense of being educated.
In the academic programs at Meridian, transformative learning is at the core. Each distinct program, psychology, education, business, has their own informational knowledge domains that the student has to acquire. But because we provide this informational curriculum in the context of a transformative approach to learning, students acquire information more readily, more substantively, and in a way that they retain the information and apply the information more effectively.
Lifelong learning is professed to be a goal of most places, but I think Meridian's program is more likely to directly encourage the capacity for continual exploration and self-exploration, and they practice it here. They practice learning how the personal and the professional, the personal and the intellectual feed into one another.
When we are involved in transformative learning, we are offering the learner learning activities which enable the student to have experiences they wouldn't have otherwise. So their range of experience is diversified and deepened, and they begin to embody their experience and begin to personalize it. So this range of experience transforms who the learner is. And this does not happen in purely informational learning.
I am learning this skill set of being both objective and subjective, of doing that dance between self and other and the inner world and the outer world, and doing it in a really artful, creative way.
A transformative learner can acquire information more rapidly.
We're having the students interact with the ideas experientially so that they have a much deeper understanding of what these ideas really mean in the lived life.